In the last section, we got some real content on the screen. So we're starting to make some real progress. In this section, we're going to focus more on the video detail, the component that makes sure that the user can actually see the selected video and play it. Before we start putting this component together, I want to pause for a second and remind you about a question you should really be asking yourself before you write a new component. The question is this: do I expect this component to need to maintain any type of state? The video player that we're going to use here is a YouTube embed. So in reality, the video detail only really needs to care about the video title, the description, and the URL of the video. Those are all properties that are available through props, as they're going to be passed down from the app component. As such, we don't really need any state here on the video detail. We really just need a simple functional component. So with that in mind, we can get started on our video detail. In videodetail.js, we'll start putting together some of the boilerplate that is we're going to get really used to over time. So at the top, we'll write import React from React. And then we'll define our functional component, const video detail, props, like so. And then we'll export default video detail. Okay. So like the video list item, this is going to have a pretty decent amount of markup in it to give it a pretty good amount of structure. So let's go ahead and get to it. We'll return a big old blob of JSX. At the top level, we'll have a div with the class name of video detail, and we'll give it a width of call in D8. Then we'll do a div class name embed responsive 16 by 9. So this is going to be wrapping the iframe that we're going to use to display the video. We'll talk more about that in a second. Well, actually that time's right now. Let's do it. Iframe with the class name of embed responsive item. So that's an iframe. And then as a child to this div, so not inside of the embed responsive, we'll do a separate one, div class name details. And then inside of this div, we'll have, for right now, just two empty divs. One will be for the title and one will be for the description. Okay, so with all this markup in place, we're just going to need to get some values off the props object. So we got the props argument right here. We can go ahead and use the same ES6 syntax trick. So we don't really need props, we need just the video property. So we'll use curly braces video, and that will pull off just the video. Next, we'll get at the title and description of the video. So we'll do curly braces because we're going to reference a JavaScript variable. And we'll say video.snippet.title, and then below it, video.snippet.description. Cool. Finally, we need to get access to that the embed URL. So here's a little trick about YouTube videos. Whenever you want to embed a video, or even just like navigate to a video, the only thing that changes in the URL is the actual ID of the video. We have the ID inside this video object right here, so we can actually craft our own embed URL. I'll show you how. Let's just get to it. So we'll say const video ID, video.id.video ID. Boy, that's just a little confusing line right there, gee whiz. And then we'll make our URL. So we'll say const URL is https://www.youtube.com/embed plus the video ID, like so. So this will craft a URL that looks like, basically youtube.com/embed. Oh, I missed a slash on the end here. Make sure youtube.com/embed/video ID. And that works for just about any video. As long as we've got a video ID, creating an iframe, which we have right here, which points to this URL, will show a YouTube video player inside of our application for us. So before we make use of this URL, I want to make use of a another little bit of ES6 magic. Right now we've got a string and we're just adding on another string to it at the end, the video ID basically. Well, we can use what's called string interpolation, or template strings actually, in ES6. So we'll write a single string, but we'll interpolate or inject or basically shove in, for lack of a better term, a JavaScript variable into the string as well. So we're going to do that by deleting the two quotes, and then we're going to wrap the string with backticks. This is the button that's to the left of the 1 on your keyboard. So it specifically has to be a backtick. It can't be like a single quote. Make sure it's a backtick. And then inside of here, we can write $, and then curly brace, video ID, and then delete everything else. So this is exactly the same as writing, blah, 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 /embed/ plus video ID. Exact same thing. It just joins the two together into something that looks a little bit more, legible. Especially with the syntax highlighting, it's much more easy to, really figure out what's going on with this string. Okay, so let's go ahead and save this. I'm going to save it. Actually, we need to do one more thing in here. We need to make use of the iframe by providing the URL to it. So iframes in general, all you got to do is provide a source, and then your browser will go out and reach out to the URL and place whatever content inside the iframe. So we'll provide a src. We're going to make reference to a JavaScript variable, so we'll do curly braces URL. All right, now let's save it. And let's refresh. And oh yeah, nothing yet. Totally forgot. We still have to put it inside of our index component, and we're not quite there yet. So let's do that inside of the next section.